Oh. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Satchidananda Rupaya, Vishwopatyadihetave, Tapatraya Vinashaya, Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha, Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Om Yonta Pravishya Mama Vachamimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatya Shakti Dharaswadhamnam Anyashahastacharana Shravanattvagadi Pranam Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Pranam Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Pranam Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. Very good. So we are Atha Saptashititamodhyaya, chapter 87 of the 10th canto of Bhagavad Mahapuran, and here this chapter is titled A Song of Praise Uttered by the Vedas in their living form. What do you mean living form? Just like sometimes man can be a living form of husband, man can be a living form of father, a woman can be a living form of Durga. Similarly, the Vedas also have a living form. Nothing is impossible in this creation. Just like that, one Brahman can take a living form of Ishvara as Rama, Narayana, etc. As Krishna. So why not? In the Puranic, क्या हो गया? In the Puranic literature, all these possibilities are given, and there it is. Now it is a point. Then I can speak anything. Hello? ठीक है. Flat away. So in the Puranic literature, this impossibility of everything that we know as normal, that in this normal, abnormal also. So are Puranas abnormal? No. Is God abnormal? Yes and no. How can scriptures take a form? They can. Why not? If today Australia is leading in it, in creating holograms, and not the hologram which is behind my phone, not that hologram. Holograms, person is giving lecture here and you can see him giving lecture in another place. This used to be a siddhi once upon a time. Like people experience Satya Sai Baba in different places at the same time. People experience many other masters at the same time in different places. Now technology is creating that. Lecture is being given in Melbourne and people are in a theatre observing the lecture with the person on the stage in a particle form, but they don't know that he suddenly manifests there and then unmanifests. Yeah, it is. Australia, it happened the first time in the world. Yeah, a few years ago. Now they have perfected it. Now it's not one country to one city. It's many places at the same time. So, no first class tickets required for CEOs. Stay in your bedroom, don't even come to office. From there only send holograms. This is we have read it in a Star Wars, seen it in Star Wars. We have read it in the what you call Puranas and life histories of Mahatmas. Yogi, it is there, and many biographies you will read it. So it is becoming a reality today. So why not scriptures take a form? Huh? So what happens here? It says, Parikshit Uvacha Brahman Brahmanya Nirdeshye Nirgune Gunavrittayah Katham Charanti Shrutayah Sakshat Sadasada Pare. He said Brahman Brahmanya Nirdeshye Nirgune Gunavrittayah. How can the Shruti texts, what do the Shrutis, when we say Shruti, what does it mean? Vedas. They mean the Vedas. And what are they dealing with? What is the topic of discussion in the Vedas as a final consummation or summation? The Brahman. Who is this Brahman? Who is formless, who is attributeless, who cannot be known through the mind. And scriptures, the same Shrutis say, he is there, it must be there, because he only brought us. So now see the question, the conundrum that they are going. These Shrutis, dealing as they do with the three gunas, the material phenomena, refer directly to the Brahma, the Absolute, which is indefinable and beyond the three gunas, and transcend both the cause, the unmanifest, as well as the effect, the visible universe. How is it possible that these Shruti Mata, the scriptures, are they transcendental? Are they beyond the mind? No. They are as a part of this creation, part of this Prakriti. Prakriti is made out of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Right? So Shrutis are a product of this creation. Yes, sent here by the Lord. The words are of the Lord, but words are of the creation. How can something which is under the influence or a product of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas talk about that which is beyond Sattva, Rajas and Tamas? This is the conundrum. This is the question that Parikshit Maharaj did. Did you ever think of this question? Because death has not come here yet. He is catching on to the lifeline. I want to know before I die, man. Quickly, Shukdev Maharaj, tell me.
It's very important words on this. You talk about the visible universe.
No. Both visible and invisible. Manifest and unmanifest. Cause and effect. We come to know. You think that we very loosely use the word Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Nobody has seen Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. No one has experienced Sattva, Rajas, Tamas as Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. You only use these words because you see the effect of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. You see the symptoms. So what would be the cause? The cause is Sattva, Rajas. Acha, so Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is the cause of Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. Then what is the cause of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas? That unmanifest Maya. From where has Maya come? Because of Ishvara. Where did Ishvara come? Ishvara is essentially Brahman behaving as Ishvara because of Maya. In relationship to Maya, the Brahman is being related to as Ishvara. So, is there manyness actually? Has actually Brahman become Ishvara and Maya? Has Maya become Sattva, Rajas, Tamas? Has Sattva, Rajas, Tamas created the Prakriti? Nothing like this has happened. Yet, today's our topic is the same. If nothing like this has happened, but sir, the world is real for me. I can see the effect. I can see the world. And how can you say that there is nothing like that? So that is what, here we are taking the opposite stance. There we are looking down and there is nothing there. The student saying, how can there be nothing there? How can there be no body? I can see the world. Here we are taking the other stance. how can the scriptures, which are a part of Prakriti, talk about so much in detail as the Upanishads are doing about that transcendental Brahman which is beyond words, which is out of the scope of the mind also? How can they? This question everyone must ask before they die. Sir, अभी बहुत टाइम है. but if we catch it, death is happening every moment. Every moment. With every breath you are dying. With every thought you are dying. With every experience you are dying. See? But you have to become available to it. To this new reality. Which is ever there. But we don't want to look at it because it's too scary. Man, I'm dying every moment. You're Bob, right?
I'm born every day.
Huh?
I'm being born every day.
Exactly. We are born also. So, Sri Shukadev Ji Maharaj replies, Sri Shukavacha Buddhindriya Mana Pranan Jananam Srujata Prabhu Matrardham Cha Bhavartham Cha Atmane Kalpana Yacha Saisha Upanishad Brahmi Purvesham Purvajai Dhruta Shraddhaya Dharaye Yastam Kshemam Gaccheda Kinchanaha Atra Te Varnayishyami Gatham Narayana Vitam Naradasya Cha Samvadam Rushe Narayana Cha. The Shukdev ji, you have read Bhagavatam? Little. So this is a dialogue happening between Shukdev ji Maharaj, not Shukdev ji. Parikshit is asking questions, Shukdev ji is answering. And why Parikshit is asking? Because he is on the verge of death. He has done an unforgivable act, and we do these acts inadvertently only when we are at our wits' end. And we are at our wits' end only when we are hungry. And there is no food available. Then you are ready to do what out of that famished state? Intense anger, intense energy comes out, and if it is not directed in the right direction, it can be destructive. And this is exactly what happened to this Parikshit king. King Parikshit, who was the grandson of Arjuna, he ruled earth as the sole emperor, loved by the entire earth, every human being, no competition, was enjoying all the joys of life. Yet one day he committed some mistake. He had gone hunting and he got left his hunting party and got strayed, and then went to this ashram, and he was thirsty and he was hungry, and he called the yogi who was in meditation, and this yogi did not respond, and in that fit of anger he picked up that dead snake and put around his neck and then went away. Yogi doesn't know this has happened. He is in samadhi. But someone notices that and tells his son and Takshaka, and the son, not Takshaka, his son, and the son, without thinking who it could have been, from there only in the river takes the water and says, whosoever has done this heinous act against my father, may he be stung by the Takshaka snake within 7 days. And then he comes, and by that time father comes out of his meditation. Father, this happened. He says, yeah, I know this happened. What? You know? You know this happened? He says, yes. But this is what I did. He says, you fool. This earth, after a great time of suffering, has got a king who was so righteous, so just, so loving towards one and all, not just human beings, but animals, criminals, everyone. And you, without thinking who it is, you have cursed him. Now go with this message that you have done this to him so he can find some solution. So he should not die in ignorance. So he goes and tells. He says, thank you for letting me know. Immediately renounces his kingdom, gives it to his son, I think it is Dhananjay. Janmejay. मैं धनंजय कर रहा था. Janmejay. And moves to the forest. When you are righteous, when you have done everything that is required to be done, that the moment demands, you know where to go. Your feet will be pulled in that direction. When hunger is there, feet automatically go to the kitchen. That's what I did before coming. Huh? They went where? They went to the banks of the Ganges. When he goes there, he finds thousands and thousands and thousands of Mahatmas, Rishis already gathered there. For what? They know Parikshit is coming. They know some great event is going to happen. And he goes there, he asks everyone, hey, this is my, what should one do if they have 7 days left? What should one do? Nobody answers, they just smile at him. He says, yeah, mere ko pagal bana rahe hain. He keeps moving, he come from there, he's moving to the front, he reaches the seat, the Vyaspeeth, just a piece of wood where the teacher is going to sit under the tree. If you want, that place is still there. They say, and the Padukas of Shukdevji Maharaj, Paduka means his imprint is still there. We didn't go there. Next time. So that is still there. And the Parikshit Maharaj's statue is there. So there, nobody is ready to address this question of Parikshit and satisfy him. Everyone is waiting, who is going to be the Vakta, who is going to be the Vakta. At that time, this 16-year-old, young, naked brahmachari, zombie mode, he's must in his realization. He has not spoken one word since he was born. He's roaming around in the jungle. The moment he was born, he started walking. His father could not control him. His mother could not shower her love and nourishment to him. He walked away. Nobody knew where he was. And here he comes suddenly. And without permission, without asking, goes and sits on that seat. And everyone in that 10,000, how many thousands of Rishi Munis are there? All of them are waiting for this moment. Now this divine dialogue is going to begin. Bhagavatam. See, and everything is happening, huh? It's not planned. Nobody has ordered Shukdevji Maharaj to come. It's the urge in the seeker which has demanded what?
The teacher.
The presence of a teacher is the urge of the seeker. Who is the teacher? Thousands were there. Thousands were there. So knowledgeable. They are still living today, some of them. The Saptarishi or Nine, they are still there. But none of them took the seat. It was meant for one special one.
Best.
Hmm?
The best.
No comparison. Each one is best. But for every student, there is a teacher. And in that context. So the teacher manifested. Nobody knew where Shukdevji Maharaj was. Nobody knew of his whereabouts. Yet, this burning desire to know what to do in these last 7 days of my life made him come out. Something must have prompted him to walk into the... He has not spoken one word in his life. And when he sits on that seat, Parikshit Maharaj asks the question, what is the first word that he speaks? Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. These are the first words. And what has he heard when he was in the womb of his mother? Only Chatushloki Bhagavat, not these thousands and thousands of shlokas, 18,000 shlokas. He didn't hear these 18,000 shlokas. He heard only 4 shlokas, which we saw in the beginning of Bhagavatam about 10 years ago. I think we will complete 11 cantos with 11 years. Huh? So Chatushloki Bhagavat was there. He has just heard that. And see now how that those 4 verses are going to get expanded into such a beautiful exposition called Bhagavad Mahapuran. And how it is presented as a question and answer between the student and the teacher. Every Upanishad is an interaction between a student and a teacher. Every Puran is also an interaction with a student and a teacher. See? For the right teacher to appear, we must always remain a student. Don't ever have the arrogance that I have become a teacher. That goes to me also, to my mind also. See? Never become a teacher. Because Guru principle is expressing every moment. And to catch that Guru principle every moment, you have to be the student. The mind has to be the student. Only then the Guru will appear. He must be seeking intensely. Otherwise Guru will not, because Guru appears only by grace, not because you demand it. Guru appears by grace. Though the self is, and the mind is seeking the self. And what will be the grace? Where the mind stops seeking and is surrendered to the self or to the Lord. So here, with this background, let's get into here. Shukdevji Maharaj replies, Buddhi Indriya Mana Pranan Jananam Asrujat Prabhu. So the Lord, Prabhu, He evolved the intellect, senses, mind and the vital airs, and being born and so on, for enjoying the delights of the various worlds and for final beatitude. In the shape of cessation of all speculation. So what is beatitude? What is realization? What is God realization? Where all options end. For whom? For whom? For the mind. Yes. So what is speculation? Speculation is it this? Is it that? Am I the body? Am I the mind? Am I the husband? Am I the wife? Am I the brother? Am I the sister? What is my duty? See, when I went from here to India to Himalayas, not this time, first time after I came to Australia, it was in search of a teacher. I didn't know who the teacher was going to be. All I had was my japmala and a backpack. And I knew this much, that the teacher will select the student cannot select the teacher. If that is the case, you are in for a big long ride. Very long ride. Maybe lifetimes long. Always the teacher must select the student. हाँ? मैंने गुरु बना लिया, मैंने इनिशिएशन ले लिया, अब मारो धक्के. See, never get into that. So I went there. And how did I come to know? I was still confused in the sense, what is my true duty? Is my duty towards my parents, or is my duty towards the study of scriptures? Because on my seat of meditation, this Garjana came, study scriptures, Shastra Padho, Shastra Padho, Shastra. 3 times it came. And I cannot deny that. And all events were out of my control. And I found myself in India within 6 months. If this has happened of its own accord, then the teacher will also come of his own accord. And how do I recognize he is the teacher? It's a game, you test, you check, you question. But it's not about me, initially it was not about me checking. It was about, am I fit for study of script, Shastra padhne ke liye? And how do I know? And when Swamiji asked that, हाँ बोलो, मैंने कहा मुझे क्या बोलना है? You have to speak, you have to take interview. He says, नहीं, you have traveled with me 20 days, I know, you tell me. And I'm having fever and all that. And like, he made me sit next to him. And I said, I don't know what I want to do. नहीं, बोलो क्या दिमाग में क्या? This is all in my head, na? I said, नहीं, Swamiji, you decide yes or no, it's okay. Whichever way you say, it will be okay for me. He said, no, you tell me, you have come. Tell me what is going on in your mind. And that moment I was forced to consolidate all the confusions in one line. That only a presence of teacher can do for you. And what was the conclusion? Is my duty towards my parents or towards the scriptures? He didn't answer. He's just looking at me. He says, फिर? No confusion. Now this fellow is not going to answer me. So what should I do? So he says, तो तुमने क्या सोचा? What have you thought? Now he is asking me what I thought. I said, कुछ नहीं, फिर सोचो. ठीक है. I closed my eyes. I started thinking. Immediately it became clear. Instantaneously. Swamiji, this is my thought. My parents want me to be married. I want to study the scriptures because it came from within. And I think that I will study scriptures. And if after studying the 2-year course, if I still have the urge to get married, I will get married. I will be a better citizen in this society. Otherwise, I will become a sannyasi. He says, come now. Selected. But this clarity I did not have for 6 months because I was searching. But in his presence, suddenly it became clear. In the presence of Krishna, Arjuna became clear of all his doubts. In the presence, just listening to the words of Shukdev Ji Maharaj, Parikshit becomes clear of all the cobwebs in his mind. And before the Takshaka comes and bites him, he has already liberated. See, this is the power of satsang. See? So, instead of whether this guru is for me or that guru is for me, you become a patra. You become a vessel, an empty vessel, in which whoever the teacher is, he can pour himself into that. And what will be his pouring? To recognize, don't be form-centric. You are thinking you need a teacher. Fool, teacher is present everywhere all the time. Inside and outside of you. And this is what, to some extent, is going to be told here. He says that the beatitude or the liberation is endowed upon a person, that grace happens when all speculation, when all doubt, speculation is doubt, speculation is options. Here the word they have used is kalpanaya cha, kalpana. All imagination about yourself has become quietened in your mind. No more imaginations, no more projections, no more ideas. Maybe I am the jiva, maybe I am the soul, maybe there is rebirth. But they say this and you are saying this, the scriptures are saying this. All these things have got cleared. Then realization happens. Then the grace is bestowed on the seeker. It is with the help of these that one can determine the real import of the Shruti text, meaning Once the mind has become completely calm, it's become free of options. See, kalpana and vikalpa. Kalpana is imagination, vikalpa is options. Nirvikalpa is without options. When mind has become free of all options, free of all imaginations, only in such a mind the knowledge will stay. Only in such a mind, only such a mind can appreciate what the scriptures are talking about. Because what are the scriptures talking about? That which is beyond sattva rajas tamas, isn't it? And what are the means the scriptures are employing? Words which are a product of sattva rajas tamas. So how can that which is a part of prakriti talk about the transcendental? For this high jump, you need a vikalpa rahit mana, a kalpana rahit mana. Whichever way you bring it about. You do it through observing your doing pranayam, or through Raja Yoga, through Kundalini Yoga, whichever way. Through japa will also bring you to the same place. But that is minimum qualification to understand the right import of the scriptures. A questioning mind is not a qualification for understanding the scriptures. I was in Bangalore with Swamiji for the retreat, and Swamiji said, take some, he never takes, but the organizers who were there, Swamiji, you are here, let's have a question answer. मैंने कहा तुम स्वामी जी से पूछो, मेरे से मत पूछो. स्वामी जी का क्या करना है, question answers. I am teaching you, don't ask questions, find the answers in, and you are saying we want a question answer session. फिर बाद में स्वामी जी कहते हैं ये देखो पीछे कह रहे हैं कि क्वेश्चन आंसर चाहिए, देख लो, तुम्हें मजे लेने तो जाके ले लो. हाँ, तो मैंने कहा देखते हैं क्या होता है. फिर we had 1 hour. मैंने कहा बाप रे 1 घंटा questions, ठीक है कर सकते हैं. But then there was a pyramid in that ashram, you know, and there was a Shri Chakra. I said okay, we'll do Lalita Asana. 40 minutes हो गए. And I took the slow speed. 40 minutes Shri Lalita Sahasranam. Then I asked, okay, now 15 minutes left, please ask the questions. And suddenly one person from IIM, मेरे ख्याल से सामने ही बैठा हुआ था. स्वामी जी, why do we light a lamp in front of the Lord? मैंने कहा Google it please. Why you are answering questions? I said I am here to answer questions which have come out of self introspection. Have you introspected, or at the spur of the moment you saw the light, so you have a questioning mind, so you ask the question. Afterwards say, Swamiji, what is the material of the stone which has gone into Sri Chakra? Which wood they have used in this building? You think I am a fool sitting here answering all these questions? That was the first question, this was the first answer. Everyone became quiet. Only one more question came afterwards. Next day I went, again Lalita Sahasranam, no question. I said, Swamiji was smiling. The questioning mind is not a qualification to be a seeker. Self-introspection is the qualification. Hunger for truth, hunger for liberation is the qualification. What are the qualifications? Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka Sampati and Mumukshutvam. Where has it been written in these 4 that you have to ask questions? Nowhere. But we make it a big deal that asking questions is a sign of intelligence. It is not. Are you qualified to ask the questions? Just because you have a question doesn't make you intelligent. See? All the questions that Parikshit Maharaj has asked in the entire Bhagavat have come out of his subjective approach. He wants to merge into the divine. On one hand is the fear, not fear, he knows his impending death is coming, and he's not afraid. He has done everything right in his life except one act. So he wants consciously, while living, to be free And how, what is to, that also he did not know, even though he had studied all the scriptures. In those days they used to study. But studying scriptures and becoming subjective is two different things. Is two different things. So if he had studied scriptures, all this he must have studied, Upanishads he must have studied. Why is he asking the question then? He should have known the answer. See? But it was all objective education. Now the real search has begun, and the real teacher that is required at this moment will come. Has come. And he says that with such a mind, it is with the help of these that one can determine the real import of the Shruti text. As long as there are options in your mind, as long as there are the imaginations in your mind, as long as there are notions in your mind, you will, as many texts you can read, as many satsangs you can attend, you will never understand what really the scriptures are talking about. You are fooling yourself. If I go here, I do this, I do that, I do japa, I do puja, I study Bhagavad Gita every day, I do this, nothing is going to happen until unless you have not learned how to zero your mind. How to be, as Swamiji says, be a nobody. And to be a nobody, you have to drop all imaginations about yourself, who you are. Then, when the words are told, Tattvamasi, immediately it sparks, instantaneous. But we have heard it also so many times. Why this spark comes, then tuk 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 tuk, फिर चला जाता है. It flickers and goes away. Why? Why that happened to us? Because we haven't dropped the imaginations. We have not given up the optional living. We have not given up the virtual reality yet. That is the reason. That even though we know, we understand, but we are not able to abide in it. Even though we have heard it so many times. So here it says the Shruti texts which as a matter of fact deal with Brahma alone. This indeed is the well-known secret of the Vedas relating to Brahma, treasured up by Sanaka and others, more ancient even than the ancient. Whosoever cherishes it even now will be shunned of identification with body, etc., and attain blessedness. So, what is the topic matter of the Vedas? It is the Brahman. And when there is imagination, there is options, such a mind will take that Brahman as some god. Someone will take it as, they'll keep giving it different names. And they will live in that reality. If you have the Ram, your reality is, your destination is Sake. If it is Shiva, your destination is Kailash. यार कैलाश तो इतनी बार जाके आ गए, रियलाइजेशन फिर भी नहीं हुआ है. सिर्फ थक get tired and come back. See? So wherever your mind is stuck, that will become your reality. Same scriptures, same Upanishads, same Vedas, the Madhvas, the dualists, they expound the same scriptures in the language of duality. The same, we for victory, that is duality. The same scripture, the Vashishta, the Ramanujas, they expound it in a different angle. The same scriptures, the Advaits, they expound it in a different way. Why stop there? The same scriptures. You go to this Paramahansa Yoga, the Bhagavad Gita they have expounded from a pranayam point of view. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he expounded Bhagavad Gita from Karma Yoga point of view. You will never see the total picture of the scriptures unless and until your mind is having no options. See? Otherwise you will be, if you are stuck somewhere, I am a Madhva, I am a Kundalini Upasaka, then you will look at the Bhagavad Gita only from Kundalini point of view. You will not be able to see the whole picture, what is being presented. You will see the same thing in Upanishads also. A Bhakti Shastra, a Bhakti fellow will see Bhakti in Upanishads. But what is the real import of the scriptures? That becomes available only when our mind has become free of all vikalpa and kalpana, free of all options and free of all imaginations as to who am I. All these imaginations have to be available to what the scriptures are telling you. And this was this indeed is well known secret of the Vedas relating to Brahma, treasured up by the Sanaka. Sanaka means Sanakadi, the four brothers. Whosoever cherishes it will be shun of identification with body and attain blessedness. On this subject I shall narrate to you a story connected with the divine sage Narayana, and shall also reproduce the dialogue between the celestial sage Narada and the sage Narayana. Atra te varnayashyami gatham narayananvitam naradasya cha samvadam rusher narayanasya cha. So the story begins. What is the story? Ekada narado lokan paryatan bhagavat priyaha sanatanam rishim drashtum yayau narayana shramam yo vai bharatvarshesmin kshemaya swastaye nunam dharma jnana shamo petam. What did you say it was? Dharma jnana shamopetam akalpa akalpada sthitas tapaha tatropavrishti mrishibhi kalaprabhasibhi paritam pranato pruchad idhameva kurudbhaha tasmai yavochad bhagavan ऋषीणां शृण्वतामिदं यो ब्रह्मवाद पूर्वेषां janalokanivasinaam. Going about the worlds on one occasion, the sage Narada, beloved of the Lord, went to the hermitage of sage Narayana in order to see the immortal seer, who has from the very beginning of the Kalpa cycle betaken himself in this land of Bharatavarsha for the prosperity and spiritual well-being of man, to a life of asceticism coupled with piety, self-knowledge and dispassion. What is our tapasya? Our tapasya as an individual is to give up individuality and attain that unifying principle, isn't it? The Brahman, the Ishvara. And what is the tapasya of the Lord? Of Ishvara? To give up that oneness and come down to the earth among the mortals to shower his blessings on them, so that they are blessed and graced with the right teacher, the right frame of mind, and that they are able to live a good life and able to attain the purpose of life, which is realization, God realization, isn't it? See, every day we go to temple, every day we light a lamp, every day we study scriptures, every day we do our sadhana. For what? For increasing our ego? Or is it to surrender to the Lord? That's why we go to the temple. God doesn't need your praise, but you go there, you forget for those few moments who you are, your attention is completely on the God, isn't it? When you do Havan, where is your attention? Yes, on the Ahuti and the fire, but what are the mantras saying? Through that Ahuti, you are giving the Ahutis for the sake of the various gods, isn't it? It is not for yourself. You are giving Ahuti for the sake of the gods so that they can bless us, isn't it? Isn't it? So we are doing tapasya. We collect money, we earn money, we get dressed up, we travel distances for pilgrimage. For what? To get that few moments, minuscule seconds. You walk all the way up to Yamunotri, you walk all the way up to Badrinath or Kedarnath, and after that, what do when you go there? Close your eyes. बेवकूफ हो गया. Why do you close your eyes if you walked 14 kilometers to see the Lord and there you go and you close your eyes? Because knowingly or unknowingly, everyone knows Lord is within their heart. He is not outside. But that obsession of searching has not gone yet. So we make, okay, in the olden days it was as a way of exercise. Today it is more as, tick, bucket list, tick. ये भी हो गया, वो भी हो गया, ऐसे भी हो गया, वैसे भी हो गया. ठीक है, करते रहो, but don't forget that He is calling you, not I am going. He is calling me. See? And so this is our tapasya, this is our offering to Him. What is His offering to us? At the beginning, if the creation has come out of Him only, if you have created a family, you found a wife or a husband, then you created children, then you created the infrastructure so that the family could grow. You have to maintain that infrastructure, isn't it? The house, the maintenance, the income, the schooling, the studies, the sports, the chauffeuring, everything you have to take care. You cannot say, I don't like doing this, I like doing that, I don't like this. Okay, but between the two of you, but Narayan is alone, what to do? He can't outsource it to anyone. So He created the whole creation out of Himself. Now He has created it, He has to maintain it also. How does He maintain it? By coming into the creation at the beginning of creation. Kalpa is, what is a kalpa? How long is kalpa?
So many thousands of years.
One kalpa is equal to 74 cycles of Chaturyugas. 74 cycles. That is one day of Brahmaji. Equally long is one night of Brahmaji. And every time the day of Brahmaji begins, Indra is, all these things happen. Okay. So here the Kalpa has started, Narayana has come. And what is he doing? He is doing tapasya to make sure that what he has created is well maintained. Do you get up with this thought in the morning? Because every morning when you wake up, make it subjective. Every morning you wake up, you are neither a father, neither a husband, neither a man. No, you just I am. Eyes have not opened, you are still in bed. You know you are awake. That time you are you. What is the first thought that springs you out of the bed? Oh man, I have missed my train again. Is that the thought? Oh my God, I forgot to wake up the kids. Is that the thought? Or is it Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhave. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamada, etc. Do you begin your day with that? If you are doing, then you are copying Lord Sage Narayana. This is what he is doing. His day is a bit longer, that's all. His day is a bit longer. But in relative sense, yours is also equally long. But how do you begin the day is very, very important.
सर अभी नारद जी के पास में फोन थोड़ी ना है
है?
नारद जी के पास स्मार्टफोन नहीं
स्मार्टफोन नहीं है?
नारद जी के पास है, तो नारद जी भी फोन देखते ही उठते हैं
ऑप्शन कहाँ गया?
हाँ,
आपका ऑप्शन बंद करके
हाँ. So when we make it subjective, it is happening to you also. If your one day of waking, today is the waking day, or tomorrow is going to be your waking day. When you wake up, that is your whole day, your whole life. How do you, with what thoughts do you begin the day with? You say, Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Kar mule sarasvi, Kar madhye tu Govinda. It has become a rote. Do you mean it? It has to make an impact here. Why? When we do it, we think we are a part of this creation. When Narayana is doing it, he is saying, I am the creation. I have to maintain it. I created it. So when you take this position that out of me, the waking world has come out, then will you fight, will you dislike, will you hate, will you manipulate, will you do anything untowards which will disturb the harmony of the creation that you have brought about? Socho. Because out of you only the dream has come. Out of you only the whole, all the people in the dream have come. Out of you. They have not come from outside. Same way in the waking also, all of them have come out of your mind only. With what thoughts do you begin your day? No, mommy, don't wake me up. I need to sleep a little bit longer. Get up. My exams are over. Don't disturb me anymore. We were also like that. Nothing wrong in accepting it. No, not these type of thoughts. For that then discipline is required. For that alertness is required. That every moment, the moment we wake up, we have practiced it enough that when we wake up, we don't lose that few moments that are available to us when we are nobody but ourselves, as the Spirit, as the Divine. And from the Divine, let not anything else but Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Let that only come out. For that training is required. Narayana does not need training because he is all that there is. We have started imagining. We have started giving options that maybe I am a soul. Maybe I am a son of my mother. Maybe I am a this. Maybe I am a jiva. Maybe there is rebirth. So here, understanding in this way, ekada naradaha lokan paryatan bhagavat priya sanatanam rishi drashtum yayo narayana ashramam. When he was moving around once upon a time, Sage Narada, who was the beloved of the Lord Narayana, went to the hermitage of the Sage Narayana. And where is this, the hermitage of Sage Narayana? Where in Badrinath?
The other side of there's a mountain.
There are always two sides. Which side you are talking about? Other side.
There's a river.
Yeah. So if you say, but which side are you? That is the question. Which side?
She is the other side.
I'm standing in front
Wonderful, wonderful. This is what I was missing, you know. Sage Narayana's ashram is on the Narayan Parvat. The mountain on which the Badri Narayan temple is, that is the Narayan mountain. And the other side of the Narayan mountain is the Nara mountain. Nara mountain, not temple. The Nara mountain. And who is Nara? The Arjun. So both of them are sitting there and meditating. So this Narad Muni, he approached this sage Narayana on that Narayana mountain in his hermitage. And what was he doing? He was blessing the whole world, doing the tapasya for the whole world. See? And therefore, who has from the beginning of the Kalpa taken himself in this land of Bharata Varsha for the prosperity and spiritual well-being of men. How many of us sincerely wish the spiritual prosperity of other fellow beings?
To an extent.
Every morning, every moment. See, this will only happen. This will only happen when essentially every person is selfish. But when this selfishness includes the total creation, then it will start happening. When this I includes the total creation, when you come to this realization that the whole creation is only my expansion, then only blessings will flow through. Never condemnation, never judgment, never a sense of otherness or difference. It will be only blessings. You can, even if you have any problem in the body, you will only have love for the body, isn't it? Whether you are fat, whether you are thin, whether you are diseased, whether you have one eye or three eyes, does not matter. You will love your body. Why? Everything in this body is included in the definition of I. Who is Narayana? In whose definition of I the total universe is included. And who are we as an individual essentially? Not other than Narayana. Because we are in his creation, no? So if creation has come out of Narayana himself, it must be of the nature of Narayana. And what are we considering ourselves? Only Nara. So this confusion has to be corrected. This error has to be corrected. And that is why we study the Puranic stories, in which the same truth of the Upanishads is given, but in a very light mode, through stories, through dialogues, through interactions, through incidents. Bending in the 7th verse, he says, Tatropavishta Rishibhihi Kalapagrama-vasibihi Paritam Pranato Pruchat Idhameva Kurudvaha. So, bending low with reverence, the sage Narada put this very question to the divine sage, who was seated there in his hermitage, surrounded by sages inhabiting the village of Kalapa. Now see, this is what you call, this is how questions should be answered. Questions should not be answered by, this is the most unique way that I have discovered just now. Instant enlightenment, instant God-vision. When, some places, on the 6th of January 1999, I think, 99, I got realized, from that day everything is clear. And then they write about autobiography. that this was the day that it happened. The realization happened on a day, and scriptures are telling you are ever realized. Whom are you fooling? See, we can get lost in many different ways because of our limited approach to the scriptures. And so you have come to the right teacher. I am a realized person. Because 1999, 6th of January, it happened. Now, it will happen to you also. When? No, that date has to come.
Give me a
When? Give donation, you will find out. Do some seva. First purify your mind. And scriptures are saying, what purify? You are already that. Why you are creating distance between you and yourself? Bhagavan is also saying the same thing. And here these so-called Mahatmas come and they create a distance. This is what religion does. It wants to keep you in the loop. Otherwise, how will they survive? लगे रहो नहीं पापम पाप कर्माहम, you know. Even today only, after you all left, one lady was there. Retreat is going on. She said, Swamiji, I have heard all the scriptures, but I have not heard this one. Thank you for taking it. I said, good. No, but I still feel guilty. I said, about what? That that I should serve the world. Because Baba told, serve. I said, Baba also served. You are God. Why you only hold on to serve? Why don't you hold on to that word of Baba which said, you are God, I am God, I know that and you don't know it? Why don't you hold on to that statement of Baba? Why only the statement that serve the humanity? Serving the humanity is for purification. He says, but I can't give it up. It keeps coming back. तो कुछ बोला उसको. But this is how we become detrimental to our own growth. Because of our obsession with our past. We are not ready to empty ourselves. When we go to Baba, when we come to study the scriptures, when we come to Bhagavat or any other satsang, empty yourself completely. Don't go there to judge, don't go there to collect information. Go there to be transformed. Even if it is a crook, you will get transformed. Because you are pure. He will not be able to affect you. See? That eklavya vritti should be there. That whether teacher, I am available. Then teacher has got no choice, whether in form or without form. He has to teach. But instead, we keep searching for teacher. We keep searching for Guru. We keep searching for God. Never once we think that we have to become an apt vessel in order for God to appear. By your calling, God will not come. But when you call in such a manner that he has got no choice, then he will appear. Remember that story I gave you of the two Brahmins? One was meditating, the other said he was in competition with him. He said, why you are he saw this fellow does nothing, only meditates. Oh, lot of donation is coming. People leave at his feet. Food comes, money comes, clothes come. The copy master, he also started meditating. यार ये अच्छा तरीका, not just sit all day long and food comes, money comes, clothes come. He also did it. He says, oh, what else? Then he continued. Now house is there, someone donated the house, someone donated land, money is there. He says, why are you meditating still? He says, no, there is more. Siddhis will come, they will also come. He says, अच्छा, उससे क्या होगा? Oh, I can do this, I can do that. So many. The copy master, he says, अच्छा, ऐसे भी होता है. I will also do it. सिद्धियाँ भी आ गई. फिर उसके बाद, now while you are meditating, oh, once I become one with the God, then There is nothing more I have to worry about. I will be always rich completely forever. Really? I will also do that. So he's a copy master. Neighbor. He also starts doing it. One day Naradji, same Naradji goes. He says, hey, Narayana Bhagavan has become very happy with both of you and he has sent me. Tell us what you want. So the original meditator, he said, I want to merge into the Lord. I want to go to Vaikuntha. What about you? Whatever he wants, I want. Huh? Whatever he wants, I want. That's what he's been doing all life. After a few days, he comes back. Narayan Bhagavan has given a message. Oh, both of them were very excited that Lord has given the first one, the original one, even more. He says, what has the Lord said? He says, the same message for both of you. So what is the message? Oh, this tree under which you are meditating, the number of leaves, you have to live, go through the lives, as many leaves are there on this tree. Then you will get liberated. जो कॉपी मास्टर था कहता साला ये लाइफ तो मैंने वेस्ट कर दी अभी मेरे को इतनी लाइफ और वेस्ट करनी है एक गॉड है आई डोंट वांट लिबरेशन ही वेंट अवे द ओरिजिनल वन he heard that Lord gave a specific time and that if this happens, it will be for sure. He became ecstatic. नारायण नारायण वहीं पे शुरू हो गया. भगवान ने उतनी सारी लाइफ उसकी फास्ट फॉरवर्ड कर दी. And there and then he came and took him to Vaikuntha. You have to become, the story is not about a beautiful story. It's about you have to become the vessel, the correct vessel in which the divinity can pour itself, in whom the Guru can pour himself. See? So rather than searching for God and searching for Guru and trying to understand the scriptures in your own twisted thinking, let's become an apt vessel in which, when scriptures are heard, immediate understanding takes place. No lag period. Just like when wife calls whoever you are, whichever wife, she calls, Aho, what do you call him? Whatever, don't say. Aho. Now she calls him, no other husband will look, only he will look, isn't it? If someone calls Deva, nobody will look, only he will look. So each one has a particular way, connotation. Huh? Call sign. Huh? Call sign. That it's called and that particular looks, isn't it? Same way. You call him, he has to look. But it should be, why you look? Because you know the consequences. Here. अच्छा बोला ठीक से बोला. But there, with the Lord, what is the consequence? Remaining in ignorance, remaining in pain, remaining in misery. Here, if you don't listen, you will invite misery. There, if you don't call, you will invite misery. See? So be ready. Be ready, not one day. That today is the day. Now is the moment. Bhagavat is happening. Or Aparokshanubhuti is happening. This is the moment. What else is there more to know other than this? Every story is giving us the final abode, isn't it? Taking us to the final beatitude. And yet here we are. So, important thing is, be the correct vessel. In the midst of the other rishis who were all listening to the divine sage Narayana, divine sage actually gave him the following reply, which embodied the gist of a discussion bearing on the topic of Brahma held among the ancient rishis, Sanaka and others of Janaloka, the fifth heaven. See, Whenever a question is asked, the teacher, worth his salt, will never say, "This is my answer." He will always, without taking ownership, he will. That same question was asked because there is nothing new in this creation. You think Brahmaji is new in every creation? Same Brahma. Just like we go up to sleep and wake up next morning, he also goes to sleep. Only thing is his day is longer and his night is also equally long. But when he wakes up, he is still there. See? And in this way, all the answer is given. As I said, everything that is happening in this creation has happened before, in some form or the other. So they take that incident, they take that example, and they give the answer to that question. We think, my young fellow is very intelligent because he asked this question. When I was his age, I never could think also of these type of questions. No. All questions have been asked, all questions have been answered. Universe is complete with all questions and answers. Only you have not got exposed to it. That's why you're still asking. And how do you get exposed to it? Empty yourself. Give up your imaginary personality. Give up. See how quickly all knowledge comes and fills its place. It will happen like this if you believe it, if you have faith. If you believe, nahi, it is slowly, it has come up till the ankles. अभी तो बाप रे इतना ऊपर तक जाना है. Then it will happen that way because that is your conviction. Whenever knowledge takes place, it happens instantaneously. It doesn't happen in in grades. In grades. What did you say?
Installments.
In installments. It doesn't happen in installments. In installments, confusion happens. Good installment, good confusion, better confusion, bestest confusion. But there is no good realization, better realization, bestest, nothing like that. There is only one. And in this way, what did the Lord answer to sage Narada? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Swayam Bhuva Brahma Satram Janaloke Bhavatpura Tatra Sthana Manasa Nam Muninam Urdhva Vetasam Shweta Deepam Gatavati Tvahi Drashtum Tadhishwaram Brahmavada Samvrittaha Shutayo Yatra Sherate Tatra Hayamabhut Prashna Tvam Mam Yamanupachasi Tatra Hayamabhutam Bhut Prashna Tvam Mam Yamanupachasi Tulya Shrutatapashila Ha Tulya Swiyari Madhyamaha Api Chakru Pravachanam Ekam Shushrusha Pare. He says that, O Narada, the son of Brahma, who is Narada? The son of Brahma, the self-born of yore, there took a place a meeting for exchange of views regarding the true nature of Brahma in Janaloka, of sages born of Brahma's mind and dwelling in that sphere, who were all lifelong celibates. Who are these? Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumar. These were the four. Now see how beautiful this whole thing will start expounding. And what is the topic that they are lifelong celibates? This is why Brahmaji became angry afterwards. First creation was Sanakadi. The moment they were born, because he came to know, he did tapasya, he went into the Kamal, did 1621. 1621. Remember 1621? Kuti? 1621? Tapa. Tapa. Ta is 16th alphabet of the Sanskrit language and Pa is the 21st alphabet. So he was doing tapa. What was the tapa? What is my purpose? Why am I born? Why am I sitting here on the lotus? Looked here, looked there. Wherever he looked, one head came out. Looked up, again came out. When looked in, got sucked into the stalk of the of the lotus. What is my source? What is my source? Kept looking. When he went deep inside, he heard the Akashvani. 1621. 1621. God spoke English? Yes. 1621. Tapas, tapa, tapa. He came out, sat down, sat in meditation for tapa, for tapasya. Revelation was, my purpose is to create the creation as an offering to the Lord. With this attitude of mind, the first creation was Sanakadi. So the moment they were born, they were devotees of the Lord. He said, "Yaar, ye kya ho gaya? Abhi how will I expand? These fellows don't even want to get married. Eternal brahmacharis." Then second creation was Naradji. He came out, he saw, oh, what do I have to do? He says, he asked his brothers, they said, Narayana. So he also became a brahmachari. Brahmaji became angry. Out of that anger, then Rudra came. Then Saraswati came. His potentiality. He says, calm down. Abhi, calm down. Why you want to create someone extraordinary? Why do you create someone like you? Then he created Manu and Shatrupa out of himself. Because you need to expand the creation. Now question, think. This is not the topic, but the thought is coming. Brahmaji, whom did he get married to? Where did she come from? Out of himself, isn't it? Manu came from him. Shatarupa also came out of. So they are brothers and sisters. But they got married. So is that valid in the society? Huh? See, think. So we are living under certain societal norms, self-accepted, right? But if we are Manushya, descendants of Manu, it was an unholy marriage. That's why we are still suffering. Think. So therefore, to end the suffering quickly, realize the God, and this unholy marriage in Aparoksha Anubhuti, it is coming. We have just addressed it today. Consciousness and matter, Purusha Prakriti, they can never come together. But yet they seem to come together. For a human being to exist, Purusha is the conscious principle, Prakriti is the matter principle. Matter is inert, consciousness is of the nature of self-illumination, knowledge, etc. Chaitanya. So how can two opposing forces, we say, only opposites attract. Today the thought came, two opposites spark. So two things which are totally opposite nature, one is Chaitanya, one is Jada. They can never come together. So now, what is scriptural study? Why do we want God realization? To realize that there is nothing called Jada. Everything is divine. Everything is divine. Because if Narayana has created the creation out of himself, then the creation has to be divine, isn't it? How can it be Jada? Because the material that has gone into the creation is Narayana himself. Something to ponder upon. Zara sochiye! Exclamation mark. So, here, कहाँ गया यार? हाँ, the Janaloka of sages, हाँ, no. On one occasion, when Narada had departed to Shweta Deepa to see Lord Aniruddha, the rule of that island, a form of Lord Vishnu, there ensued among the rishis and of that sphere a masterly and thorough discussion concerning Brahma the Absolute, about which the Vedas too remain silent. So, what was the discussion? Who are these Sanat Kumaras? They are the mind-born sons of Brahmaji. Brahmaji is the creator. What is the first thing that is created once the waking happens? Say Mana Buddhi Chitta Ahankar. And what is the topic among these Mana Buddhi Chitta Ahankar, the four Sanat Kumaras? It's worthy to note here. They are not talking about yaar brahmachari bekar mein ban gaye. This is not the topic. Arey yaar, I want to build some more property portfolio. That is not their topic. Their topic is only one. What is? Brahma Chintan. And if there is nobody, if the rishis are not there, you know what these four do? Every now and then, one becomes the teacher, other three become the students. Then after when he gets tired of talking, the next one becomes the teacher and other three become the students. And their continuous satsang is going on. Continuous satsang is going on. Just like our Swamiji says, in sleep also I am giving satsang. In dream also I dream satsang only. Imagine how much the mind has got percolated with the thoughts of the scriptures. That even in dream, unknowingly, only those thoughts are passing through the mind. Because mind has to think, something. This is how if we have to think, and our mind only thinks, isn't it? What are the thoughts? The thoughts should be only that of the scripture. Then your life is fulfilled. Because if your mind is totally full of the scriptural statements, there is guarantee that you will come to know. You will abide in the truth. But the moment even a little error is there, a virus enters, little bit importance to the world comes in, your ability to see the world as it is, which is divine, you lose that vision. So here he says the Vedas too remain silent. There in that assembly arose the same question which you had just put to me, though equal in point of learning and practice of virtue, and although friends, foes and neutrals were alike to them, they treated one of themselves with Sanandana as an expounder of truth, while the rest remain reclined to listen. Means these four, what to do now? They made Sanananda the teacher, and all the other three sat down to listen to the exposition of this question. What was the question? Forgotten already.
Topic is Brahma.
Huh?
How can Vedas
How can the Vedas, who are a part of the Prakriti, who are a product of Sattva Rajas Tamas, can talk about and indicate without knowing the transcendental Purusha who is beyond the scope of Prakriti? Same question. Sanandana Uvacha Swasrushtamidamapiya Shayanam Sahashaktibihi Tadante Bodhaya Chakruhu Tallingai Shrutaya Param Yadha Shayanam Samrajam Vandinas Tatparakramaihi Pratyushebhyetya Sushlokaihi Bodhayantyanuji Vinaha. at the end of the pralaya, the period of dissolution of the universe, the deities presiding over the Shruti texts. And when did the Shruti come? With the first breath of the Lord, the scriptures came. Awakened the Supreme, who had been lying asleep as it were all the time, along with his innumerable potencies, Prakriti, Purusha, time, and so on. Having swallowed this universe, evolved by himself, through the following hymns, indicated his true character in the same way as bards, depending upon the subsistence of an emperor, call on him while he is still asleep at daybreak and awaken him with songs of praise celebrating his exploits that contribute to his excellent fame. What do we come up with? We wake up with condemnation. You pulled my blanket. Give me my blanket back. I'm only imagining. मेरा ब्लैंकेट कोई खींचता नहीं. हाँ वो साकेत और वो है ना क्या है दोनों उसका नाम भाग्यश्री वो खींचते थे हम झगड़ा करते थे. This is our thought. And what are their thoughts? See? So when you wake up, whom are you? What are you thinking? Again, another. First we saw Narayana was blessing the whole creation. Here we see Shruti, when the Lord has absorbed the entire creation, the Mahalaya, Pralaya. Everything is absorbed back into the Lord. Then again the 74 yuga cycle, the day of the Brahmaji begins, come out. That is happening to you also. Every time you go to sleep, where does the mind get absorbed into? Into someone else's mind. It gets absorbed into you only. And then when you wake up, does it come from outside? It manifests out of you only, isn't it? Same thing. What is happening at the total macro level, same thing is happening at the micro level. What is the first thought that the mind has? Shrutaya uchuhu. And what is that? With the first breath. When you are sleeping, do you know you are breathing? Are you aware of breathing? No. So when you wake up and the first thing you become aware is, I am. Next, immediately time sets in, breathing is, you become aware of the heaving. Immediately the mind comes into play. Then what? Then that mind must sing this. What is that? इसका कोई ट्यून है क्या भैया? हाँ? जय जय जहुय जामजित दोष गुभीतृगण स्तभगः समाखिल शक्त्यवकोधकते मनः. हाँ ये वाला ट्यून है करेक्ट. अगेन जय 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 जामजित दोष.
जय 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 जामजित दोष
गृभीत गुणां त्वमसि यदात्मना समस्त भगः अगजगदोक समाखिल शक्त्यवबोधकते कचिदययात्मना रतोनुचरे निगम. You know Tirupati, this tune goes on. Supravatam tune. उपलब्धमेतदभ्यन्त्य शेषतया यत् उदयास्तमयो विकृतेर्मृदिवा विकृतात् अतर्षयो ददुस्त्वयि मनो वचनाचरितं कथमयथा भवन्ति भुवि तपदानि नृणाम्. Enough, man. The Shruti said, manifest your glory, reveal your exalted nature, O unconquered Lord, root out the nescience, ignorance, which has no beginning, of all the jivas invested with an immobile or mobile body. जब से पैदा हुए कभी ऐसा प्रेयर लिया ही नहीं. This is the prayer. This is the suprabhatam going on. When you have trained your mind to such an extent that by default, this is disciplined life, When you are following the niyamas, nitya karmas every day, it will automatically happen. The moment, see, some people, the moment they touch the ground, immediately, karagare vasate, what no, karagare, prithvi toy dhrita loka. The moment they wake up, first they look at there. It's default. First it is default, then you start thinking, what am I chanting anyway? Children are made the shlokas to learn. Meaning comes afterwards. First learn, let it become a default. That is our process of learning. But modern science is discovering new ways. Let them. This is old and tested way. For centuries and centuries and kalpas after kalpas. So may your glory reveal your exalted nature. What is the nature of the Lord? Satchidanand Swarup, all pervasiveness, ever free, ever self-illuminating. May you reveal your nature. Because what is going to happen after the stuti is over? Is the mind, is the self going to get attached to the mind and become an individual? But if the mind has been programmed, I'm talking from subjective level, if the mind has been programmed to chant this mantra with alertness and awareness, that may this self, which is just woken up, come out of sleep, come out of meditation, whatever, may it reveal its full glory, not a limited glory. What is limited glory? Individuality. Unlimited glory, Ishwaratva. See, even by default it must keep going on. And that is what is being told. They are praying to calling out to the Lord. O unconquered Lord, root out the nisan, root out the ignorance. Who has never been defeated by any force. Remember Kena Upanishad? Is it Kena Upanishad where all the elements come and they try to burn the yaksha, the grass leaf, and eventually Indra Bhagavan goes. Fire wants to burn it, can't burn it. Water wants to wet it, can't wet it. Air wants to dry it, can't dry it. Because they were all these gods, they were full of themselves. We defeated the Rakshasas. I am stronger. And then they started arguing between themselves, each one showing that I am greater than you. Why? I am water, Don't mess with me.
Yoga versus.
No. It's a
You gave that example.
maybe example, but it's a whole Upanishad, which is, I think it's Kena Upanishad. Not Katha.
No, Katholism Nachiketa.
Nachiketa. It's Keno or Aitreya, one of the two. Kena Upanishad. So their arrogance, their this sense of self-importance is crushed by that blade of grass. And the Varuna Devata, the Agni Devata, the Vayu Devata, all of them are defeated. Then Indra goes, Acha, aisa kaun hai bhai jo yahan pe? He goes, but Indra has a little bit more intelligence on his head. So when he goes, he fights, and he is not able to, my Vajra is not having any influence on this blade of grass. Immediately he suspects something is amiss here. Immediately he puts everything down. Please reveal yourself to me. The god vanishes along with the blade of grass. And only the sound comes. Good you are surrendered, otherwise teri khair nahi. See? So where are the senses? In the mind, isn't it? So you have not become active when you wake up in the morning at the sensory level. Eyes are still closed. When you are saying Karagre or when you are chanting Suprabhatam, your eyes are still closed. You are not. चाय लेके आना यार ऐसे भी लोग करते हैं बट वैसे नहीं या टेप रिकॉर्डर चल रहा था हाँ टेप रिकॉर्डर विल डू द सुप्रभात एंड वी विल एंजॉय द सीरियल ऑन द टीवी in the early in the morning. This is pathetic. It has to be subjective. You have to be involved in the process. There is no better chanting than by your own lips, not on tape recorder. Even if you take it once, it has got more impact than thousands of hours of listening to a radio or cassette. One chant is more potent. See? If you don't believe me, ask Narayan. हाँ बोलना
हाँ सर
So, who is unconquered? Who knows he is all that there is, isn't it? Only he is fearless. And only he who is unconquered has the capacity to help others. Whom does he help? Now the question is, the one who calls. From Narayana's point of view, there is no ignorance, right? Because he is unconquered. He has created the creation. But we see in this creation ignorance also expressing. We are also expressing that I am the body or I am the mind, and that is an expression of ignorance. Not taking yourself to be the waker, taking yourself to be the dreamer and living only in this loop of waking, dream and deep sleep is an expression of ignorance. See, Narayana does not do that, we are doing that. So it is, in this phenomena it is happening, okay, it is happening. Then only the one who is free of this happening can help us, isn't it? From his point of view, everything is clear, everything is always perfect. From the water's point of view, water is perfection incarnate. But from the wave's point of view, nahi, I need liberation. What is liberation? I need to be one with water. I need to surrender to water. And when will that happen? When will that grace be bestowed? Even though the grace is there with the wave all the time. But for wave does not understand that. So it calls out. When it calls out, then the grace flows. In that calling, like never before. And deep urge to surrender to that infinite principle, to that Lord. When that urge comes in, immediately, instantaneously, like that story I told you just now. He gets so excited or enchanted that God gave me a particular day, that this day it will happen. It happened there and then. Same thing. So if we are, even though we are of the nature of Narayana or of Brahman, right now, do you know that? We are living in ignorance in the worldly sense. So then, who will Narayana call? Listen to? He who calls. How will he come to him? The way he calls him. This is how he calls him. If he calls him as a wife, she will come as a wife. Anusuya called him, wanted the gods to be as a child. He came as Dattatreya. See? Lakshmi wanted him as a husband. She got him as a husband. Someone wants him as Ganesha. Someone wants him as to do this or to do that. Nobody wants God as he is. Very rare. Very rare. But these Sanat Kumaras are not like made like us. They are very clear. Huh? Or you heard the Shrutis singing the song actually. They are talking. Root out the knee signs which has no beginning of all the jivas invested with an immobile or mobile body. Now this, what will be the prayer of the scriptures? This is the prayer. That please make the creation free of all ignorance. Make all the jivas free of all ignorance. Make all the jivas come to realize their essential nature. This is what scripture, all the Vedas are talking about only, whether it is through Karma Kand, Upasana Kand, or the Upanishads. This is the common refrain in every one of them. That let the jiva reform himself into the infinite. Let him merge into the infinite, because he is essentially the infinite. The jiva is invested with an immobile or mobile body, nescience, which has assumed the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, for an evil purpose, that is obscuring the blissful nature of the jivas and thereby throwing them into bondage. Possessed as you are of the divine attributes by virtue of your own essential nature, O awakener of all the powers in these souls, the Veda is able to describe you only when, during the period of creation, you sport in conjunction with your Maya, divine, beginningless energy, or exist in your absolute state. So that infinite reality, that formless reality, which cannot be seen, heard, touched, felt, smelt, tasted, thought, talked about, yet it can be talked about when it manifests in this creation, when the law, that infinite reality appears in this creation along with its energy. So where it has come, every time it has come. In every one of the avatars, this is how it has come. You see? Then we can interact with it. Then we can interact with it. So he says that, O awakener of all powers in those souls. Remember, I just told you the story when I was in the presence of Swamiji. All clarity was dawned in my mind without, at that very moment, so many months of turmoil. Yes, I want to go to, this was absolutely clear that I want to go and study. But this duvidha, that duty towards parents, duty towards scripture, this was not getting sorted. And the moment I came in his presence and he asked, what have you, conclusion have you come up with? In that moment, everything became clear. I'm watching, the mouth is saying these words and I'm full of joy. यार इतनी clarity पहले क्यों नहीं आई? It happens to all of us every now and then. Point is, we have to catch every moment. Every moment. So, when we are thinking about the divine principle, the Lord Narayana, in that interaction, in that praise of the Lord Narayana, by the grace of Lord Narayana alone, all our imaginations about ourselves will be cleared. They will not go away by our doing, because activity creates more activity. Thinking creates more thinking. So to think that by my own free will I am going to purify myself, you are knocking on the wrong door. You will be in an eternal loop of ignorance. Then who can take you out of this ignorant loop? This imaginary ignorant loop. It's not there, but you're imagining. Only the grace. And what is the purpose of the scriptures? For whom are the scriptures? Are they for the Lord? They are for us. And if these scriptures are doing Suprabhatam to the Lord, what this is their prayer, that may all the beings in this creation, may they come to awaken to their own essential nature. And what is their essential nature? Oh, you, oh Lord. You are their essential nature. How beautiful. The Veda is able to describe you only when, only when Vedas can talk about something that is, that which appears. That which is formless, Vedas cannot talk about. That which is attributeless, Vedas cannot talk about. They can only indicate. But they can talk about, no, Puranas is, Vedas expanded is Puranas, isn't it? What is happening here? The Lord has taken form. Lord is doing leelas. Every canto is full of leelas of the Lord. So we are talking about the same truth as given in the Upanishads, but in a mind-friendly form. It's more watered down. It is more enjoyable. It is more palatable. You can interact with it. You can imagine it. You can see the picture of it. You can see the Leela unfolding in front of your eyes. You can enact it. What? Truth being enacted? Yes. राम लीला होती है ना, कृष्ण लीला होती कि नहीं, रास लीला होती है, it's enactment. Wow. So this, may all of them come to realize their essential nature. This is the prayer of the Shrutis to the divine. And he says, the wise recognize this known universe to be Brahma, because it is Brahma alone that remains. Brahma means here Brahman. Brahman alone that remains when all else is dissolved, and because it is from and into Brahma, the material cause which remains unchanged, that the universe that the universe emanates and returns as the earthenware are evolved out of and disappear into the clay. Here, clay again, you have to have a creator. Take the water. Out of the water, the waves appear. They exist in the water, and into the water they merge. Out of the gold, the ornament came. Into the gold, the ornament goes. This coming and out of the gold ornament appears. This language is at the devotional level. Actually speaking, nothing has come out. Because how can gold come out of gold? It has not even been. Gold cannot become. Yeah, that example becomes limited now. If you say become. We are trying to say gold and ornament. Ornament is also of the gold. So has out of the gold ornament come out? No, ornament is still gold. But it is still the same. It is that same one thing. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. Yet it seems something is happening. Something is happening. Nothing has happened to the waters. Water is water. Yet it seems something is happening. What is that something happening? Waves. Now take it to yourself. Nothing has happened. You are immaculate. You are perfect. Ever and ever and ever. But something is happening. What is happening? Waking, dream, deep sleep. Waking, dream, deep sleep. Waking, dream, deep sleep. Body, breath, mind, intellect. These are all happenings. This is the phenomena. You cannot stop it. It will go on. Then what about realization? God realization?
It's there.
Ask the scriptures to pray for you. Brahma with Ashirvad. Ask the scriptures to pray. Ask your mind to pray to the self the moment you wake up. You don't need to sing all this. Hari Om is enough. But the import of that word Hari Om or Om Namah Shivaya, wherever your mind is, import must be clear that I am talking about that which already is. One must not lose that. No, oh my God, I forgot this morning. Then you have lost that moment. You lost that moment. There has never been a time in the entire phenomenal creation. Just like consciousness can never become one with matter, the I can never become one with the body. You are consciousness. And you are thinking, oh my God, I forgot to sing the prayer, I forgot to call myself out. You are creating a journey. It can never happen. Yet it must be done as long as you feel you are an individual. Train yourself. That every morning catch yourself. Every morning pray to the self that you are essentially. Pray to the Lord. The last verse. Hence, because of it being the material cause of and therefore comprising the entire universe, the Vedic texts have concluded as referring to you, whatever is contemplated with the mind, that is the import of words, and uttered with the tongue, with the names. How could the feet of men placed anywhere on earth be regarded as not placed on the earth itself? Is there any place that you can go in this creation to search for Lord? He is everywhere. He is right here. But no, I went on a pilgrimage. I went through so much hardship. We walked 26 kilometers to the Gomukh. We climbed to Yamunotri. It was very hard, but it was very satisfying. Whom are you fooling? Yourself, not the Lord. Went to Kailash. Whom are you fooling? Yourself. Get out of all this. God is everywhere. God is ever present. The Lord is ever present. Lord is inside and outside. Because you are not accepting that He is everywhere, therefore you want to go to temple. Therefore you want to go to pilgrimage. Therefore, that's why parents used to give the name Narayan. They are by fluke at least recognize you are of the nature of, you are that unconquered being. That is your nature. That was one part, that the father is able to remember the name of the God by naming the child as the God's name. That was one side of, that is his selfishness. But now you have got the name, what are you going to do with it? Name is Narayana. और प्रहलाद, आजकल आह्लाद प्रहलाद भी बहुत रखते हैं ना. और काम क्या है? जल्लाद का. बोला इसने. सही बात है. So there is total disconnect with yourself. This total disconnect. And that's why these names were given. So that we live up to that glory of the name. It percolates. आजकल तो उनको पता ही नहीं होता अपने नाम का मीनिंग क्या है. And therefore, हर एक कोई, किसी को कुछ पता ही नहीं क्या करना है आजकल. They don't know what to do, what they're not to do. You ask anything, so how's life? I don't know. What are you pursuing? I don't know. I'm thinking. When it will stop? No, I don't know. Thinking and you don't know when it will stop. Even if your name Just take that name and make it your sadhana, it will take you there. And if parents are given some useless name, change it. It's not a suggestion, your name is beautiful. We'll stop here. This will, so how could the feet of men placed anywhere on earth be regarded as not placed on the earth itself? Wherever you walk on this earth, you are walking on earth. Whether you say, I am flying from Australia to India, and from India to Sri Lanka, and from Sri Lanka to Cambodia. Why? Because Lord Narayana is lying there, 4th-century-old statue. Wherever you go, you are still on this earth. Wherever you go in this space, you are still in the space. Whether universes come or universes destroy space, you are still in space. And this space is in the divine. So you can never escape the divinity. Catch it, be it, surrender to it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.